Hi friends, I know after a long time, but today's topic is something that will be related to most of y'all, and the topic is every action has an equal and opposite reaction. We have all heard this in our school when we were babies, when we were small. मॉरल साइंस के लेक्चर में आप लोगों ने ये सुना होगा, जहाँ भी आप लोगों को ऐसे कुछ भी कल्चरल या मॉरल साइंस was taught to you. You must have learnt this, that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. But as we grow older, we tend to forget this because we feel that no, we validate our actions, we justify our actions, we feel whatever I am doing is quite justified because it has a reason, it has a meaning, it has a very strong backing, and thus we try to dismiss and do not want to look into what exactly are we doing, and we can get affected with that. Now if whoever has gone a little bit also deep into their own selves, meaning if they have introspected. Introspection means when you try talking to yourself, when you try digging in your own psyches, in your own mind, that why did you do what you did, or why did you feel what you felt, you will get many answers which probably you yourself will not like, but that is the truth. And you have to, at some point in life, you have to accept that truth. For example, if you started flirting with someone, conversational flirting you've started, you don't intend to maybe do any harm to that person, but you are plainly having fun. Now in that fun, sometime you will start even thinking that whether this is right or wrong to do. You will get all sorts of answers at that point of time because your fun is so amazing, you're having such immense fun. You will get these answers like, okay, that person has also responded, means he or she is equally interested in talking to me. It is not me who has initiated the conversation, and he or she is not keeping any barriers, or he or she is talking very openly, and they are open to flirt, they are open to random loose conversations. Then why not take complete advantage of it and have some fun, because it's not me who wanted that, the other person equally wanted that. So we put the entire blame on the other person. Now we are not aware at that point of time whether we have invested our emotions into that thing or the other person has invested their emotions into it. We just go with the flow because we love that experience. This is giving us immense kick, that is giving us some pleasure, and we continue doing that. Now in the process, if one of the persons gets serious and something is on the verge of happening, meaning that casual, very casual and it was, I think, unmotivational probably is the right word, I'm not sure, when you didn't have any motives into that, it was very casual, that unmotivated conversations and interactions turns into something that is now creating a meaning out of its own. So if that verge comes even then, now that is like an ultimatum wherein you are supposed to back out. You are supposed to understand that okay, now this is going to be turning into something very serious, and you cannot afford to get into a relationship at that point with anybody like whatsoever. So in fact, even before that, the moment you start developing feelings for this person that you're conversing with, even it had started off with a very casual motive, very casual intent, you still need to put a stop. What is happening is, we as human beings are so greedy, we are so selfish, and we give in so much to our pleasures that we do not want to even look at our own emotions. They are being, we actually sabotage and we harm, we brutally ill-treat our emotions. And this is when emotions get back to us, we are unable to find a solution, we are unable to understand where to go. This exactly is what I am planning to talk to you all today, that whenever we are getting into something, we don't understand the repercussions of those things at a later stage. So at that point of time, we might feel, okay, this is like fun, this is casual, let's go in for it. Similarly, this was like maybe, giving someone unintentional attention, excess attention. Same thing can go reverse, like not giving attention at all because you're taking someone for granted. Now this thing, because there was some pleasure and fun involved, you keep giving a lot of attention to someone. But sometimes when you are in your own zone, say like you're doing really well in life, or okay, you've got into some new relationship currently, and that relationship is all exciting for you. It has all the excitement given to you, and you're mentally preoccupied to just keep thinking about that new person who's come in your life. And because of this, you stop giving attention to some old people you were hanging around with, some people who are always there with you, in your good and bad times. You have easily put them on the side, completely sidetracked those people. And that's again one more very important thing that happens, and very very routine thing that happens to most of the people. Moment you are in another new relationship, you have good friend, or you change your institution, you get good friend, you put the old friends aside, like okay, now because there are two things. Okay, when there are the selfish mind again, the selfish mind of ours is going to give you this reasoning that why do we need them anymore, right? Because you are going to be here for good, and after this you will have another destination. So why will you need those people anyway in your life? So we can afford to ignore them. They are not of any good use. Basically, people who would not want to get into this deep conversation with themselves, because they don't want to hear their own conscience telling them that, look boss, you are a very selfish and mean person. That you actually could discard somebody from your life. Moment you get somebody more interesting and new in your new life, you can eliminate people from your past. And if you have a strong reason for eliminating those people, like those people have been really bad and mean and have been really rude to you, they have really not given you good times, they have been really toxic, then fine, you are justified somewhere because you want to run away from toxicity. But if you had nice time with them, and you really, even if you did not be with them, okay, one reason you hang out with those old friends is because you didn't have a better option at that point of time. Even many people do that because koi option nahi hai, chalo we'll hang around with these people. Now even if that was a thing, why would you just not have any gratitude for that? Like, because you've really used someone for your fun, you've used someone for having that time spent nicely. Why would you not be grateful to whoever that person was? Even if you think intellectually or any other ways those people were inferior to you, you always thought of yourself as more superior. Why would you not have that simple human gratitude? Because somebody has given you that good time in your life, or even accompanied you when you when you didn't have anyone else. So these are few common instances, common examples I'm quoting here, because I want you all to understand that these are few examples. When we do that, we are in a flow, we become self-centered, we become so selfish, we don't understand that everything that you are doing, and you're giving justification to yourself and that moment, because that moment is full of pleasure, full of other motives and other important jobs and tasks to do. You forget unintentionally also. See, the intention behind these things are never to hurt the other person. I completely validate that. So even that person who was just flirting and conversing did not intend to dishearten or break someone's heart later. Now the person who is ignoring and neglecting the old friends is also not intending to be rude and insult someone. That's not an intention. But the very reason that you have so much of attention is focused on that personal happiness, personal pleasure, personal fun, that we completely ignore that in that fun of yours someone else was involved, someone else has contributed. And that is very important, because if you could have had fun all alone, please pick up a phone and start talking nonsense, whatever shit you want to talk. But you don't do that. We don't do that. We need someone on the other hand to listen to your nonsense, to listen to all that you've said, to comprehend it in their own way, maybe applaud for it, or maybe react in certain ways, which can give you another high, give you another kick. We do that often, all the time. And then when one time comes, you just nicely cut off. There is nothing wrong in cutting off. But there is a way to cut off. If at all you have used someone for your pleasure, at least have that much of respect for that other person, that human respect, that you verbally tell that person that, look, I did this in that emotion and that flow wherein I was really having fun. I didn't intend to bring it to this serious level, but now since it has come to this serious level, I would really want to put a stop here before it goes really bad. Because this was completely fun oriented, I had not intended anything serious here. You need to be honest. At that point of time, you really need to not be guarded by your image and guarded by what will the other person think. See, you've already messed up enough, and at that point of time, it's important that you really take care of not hurting someone, not taking them to that another level of feeling betrayed. Similarly, when you ignore people, when you get new set of friends, new lover, and you completely start ghosting someone, start ignoring someone, at that point of time also it's very important to say that, look, I've always liked you being a friend back then, but probably now I am in a very different set of situation, a different set of people, and I cannot give that much of time often. But you have been a good friend, a nice friend. We can keep in touch occasionally, but honestly I cannot respond to so many texts of yours or so many calls of yours. So kindly, we can just be very, very occasional kind of friends, and just be acquaintances. Like, just let's drop down this label of friends to acquaintances. Or even not, then maybe it's difficult for me to be in touch with you now. So just that you shouldn't be having a lot of expectations out of me. So just that is the reason I thought it was my duty to tell you. It does take courage to say these things, I agree, but it is very important, because that person will also, whenever you say these kind of things, the other person will also take it with a pinch of salt. But it is important that you reduce the damage that can happen, the emotional damage. Why did I spend 12 minutes telling you all about all the emotional damage in situations which never seemed important to any of you all? For a simple reason. This is where the actual talk begins, which is going to end in a minute or two. Everything will have an equal and opposite reaction. If not from the same person, from somebody else with whom you had invested the same kind of emotion somewhere. If it has not happened now, it can happen in future. So do not ever forget that. And if in simple words, if you want me to label it, it is called the law of karma. And this karma is a very, very strong thing. You absolutely cannot escape it. Even if you go underground, even if you vanish somewhere, you will never be able to escape the returns of karma. So it's so important that whenever we do anything, if someone else is involved there, if someone's stake is there, you make sure that intentionally from your end, you are not doing any harm, major harm to that person. Unintentionally things happen, will keep happening. Sometimes it's beyond our intellect. It is beyond our understanding. Those things I can give that benefit of doubt that you did not have that basic understanding. But there are so many people, so many intelligent people who know very well that certain moves of them are going to hurt the people around. They are hurting people currently by doing this. But they justify it. They justify it by saying that it's not my fault. The other person did not understand. I gave a lot of cues. I gave a lot of silent messages, by not responding, or by being so casual that I'm not a kind of a person they should be taking seriously. But if they have taken me seriously, it is their foolishness. So we very easily put the other person into the basket of foolishness, being a fool, being an absolutely illogical, unintellectual being. But even if it were he or she is an absolute foolish person who got invested in you, who got carried away into you, he or she has put in their some emotion which probably was very important to them. And when we take the response, and we unintentionally, when we crush it, when we ruin it, when we kill it, we are committing a crime in one way. And this crime might not be you might not be getting any punishments for these crimes in the court of law, when it comes to the court of material world law. But it is paid in its own way, and the more later it is paid, it is more severe. And the more older we get, the more difficult it is to tolerate the the results that karma gives us back. So it's very important that we understand what we are doing. We take complete responsibility of how we are behaving with whom, and what is the impact of that behavior. We take responsibility before behaving with someone in certain ways. So this is all that I had to say, and I'm so thankful for all those people who have seen the entire video. If you have liked the video, kindly share it. Kindly comment what did you like in this video. Thank you so much.